Good morning class, welcome to Daily Current Affairs on the paper Hindu. Let's see today's articles. So, as today is International Women's Day, almost all the articles are related to women empowerment, women equality. So, almost all articles, and the first article is about on Women's Day Eve, Nagaland's first woman minister assumes office. So, first woman minister of Nagaland has assumed the office on the eve of International Women's Day, right? So, what is this article about? Ahead of the International Women's Day, Salhatono Cruz made history on Tuesday by becoming Nagaland's first woman minister. So, she has become from Nationalist Democratic Progressive leader, but yeah, that is not required. She has become first woman minister of Nagaland. So, currently she was elected as the first woman MLA of the state. Who is this? Hekani Jakalu, and both represented this particular party. However, they have become the first minister. That is what about this particular article. Okay. Next. So, yeah, government to save 14,450, yeah, but this is local article, yeah, let me skip that, whatever is important, let me see, yeah. So, this is about trend analysis of working women, especially in the hybrid conditions, that means hybrid mode of work, where you have both work from home as well as work from office provisions, right. Regarding that, what is this report? Two trends that promote women's participation in the workforce, two trends are there. First one is breaking the glass ceiling with hybrid work model. So, what does this report say? This report is called, it is being released by IWG, and the report is called Empowering Women in the Hybrid Workplace Report. And this particular report says, this is completely targeting or restricting itself to the working woman in the country. Again, another report. One report was given by World Bank, Working Women Report, and there is a second report which is directly restricting towards working women in hybrid place of work. That means it has both offline or online. It means that you have a different work from home provision as well as work from office provision, mostly restricted to your organized sector, and that too service based mostly. So, here salient features, hybrid work has become non-negotiable for women, with 72% of those surveyed saying it would be, if they look for another role if the employer no longer offered hybrid schedule. That means almost 72% women are in favor to work in, so if they are requiring or if they want a provision to work in work from home conditions, definitely their employer should be giving such provision. If they are not willing to do so, 72% of the women are ready to quit that particular field. Okay. Next. Nearly 90% believe the flexibility of hybrid working serves as an equalizer in the workplace. So, here 90% believe that this flexibility actually gives you equalizer. That means to maintain your work-life balance, this hybrid model will actually help. 92% feel in that way. Next. 53% of the women surveyed applied for a more senior role within the organization, the majority reporting hybrid working as a reason as they were able to do so. So, again 53% of the women has told that they have applied for the more senior role, because if you are applying for the senior role, definitely your responsibilities, especially in the service sector, will be more. So, more often women, especially married women, they tend to not take this level of promotions. Now, with this hybrid model, 53% have applied, they are in favor to get into promotions because they are in favor with hybrid model of working. Fine. So, this you can add in your Indian society answers, where you are talking about women empowerment, women equality, what is the condition of current working women in the country, what are the issues that they are facing, there you can add this. So, women report tangible impact on career growth, result of the hybrid working model, with them 58% increasing in the visibility, with senior leadership 38%. Simple. The senior leadership, there are 38%. So, who are under senior leadership, and other people 58%, they are in favor of having tangible impact, great impact on their career growth because of hybrid model of work. Because most often who are people after marriage, most of the women tend to leave the jobs if there is no hybrid model. Earlier also the same case, but now it is not the case. She can hold her baby and also do her work from home. So it is giving that feasible thing, right? So that is why another thing that 58% speculate that yes, this has improved our efficiency. Next, blue and grey collar work, women storm male bastions. So what is this? First let me tell you about this article and then I will explain you what are different color jobs. So based on the color or based on the color indication, different color jobs are being identified. So what are these jobs? How are they being classified? First let me explain this article, then let me go to the prime definition. Fine. When it comes to certain jobs, bias against women built in every day, the phrase odd job man, especially in the blue collar and grey collar jobs. I'll tell you what are those. So far understand that in such kind of collar jobs which are blue or grey, women are not being included. They are completely biased and it is treated as odd man job. Just a moment. Fine. So they are treated as odd man job. So or odd job man, that means it is completely restricted to man, a man job. So serves as an apt illustration for odd jobs loosely translated into blue collar jobs. So currently understand that they are treated as that way, and Work India is one particular group. So report was given by them. Work India blue grey hiring platform reports data. So it has given a data which will actually recruit these blue or grey jobs, grey color jobs, that laundry work has witnessed 1075% spurt in inquiries from women seeking employment compared to the data of 2021. Compared to 2021 to till date, almost 1000% has rose for the women seeking for laundry based jobs. So for ironing or for washing purposes, 1075 people have increased in women who are seeking for this kind of jobs. Enquiries for labor jobs has seen 215% rise, and those are for the jobs physical training of 21%. That means the physical work 201% has seen the spike, whereas for the labor jobs it has seen 215% hike. Okay, so that is about this article. Rest all no need to see. Here what I would like to mention, what are different collar jobs important for your preparation. So yeah, let me go into it. So if you can see this, let me go to white collar first. Fine. Yeah. So white collar jobs, what are white collar jobs? Offices, management or any kind of general office, organized sector, management and administration wise. Whatever are there, that comes under your white collar jobs. So completely based on the jobs which offer you, referring to the general office workers and management, mostly of your administrative, clerical or managerial functions, mostly your organized sector. Next, coming to your blue collar jobs. So blue collar jobs are those who is a working class labor work. So physical labor will be more. Say there, if you can see, it is more of a mental thing. So your mental investment will be there in your work. When it comes to blue collar jobs, it's more of a labor, manual labor, either earns an hourly wage or a paid rate of the particular amount of work done. So based on amount of work done or based on hourly basis or day-to-day basis, their amount will be given. So these people will come under your blue collar jobs, right? Next, pink collar jobs. What are pink collar jobs? So this is completely the working class which performs in service industry. So these people may work in your organized or unorganized sector, but still their motto of work would be services, not IT services again. that comes in a different way. This services is about waitress, retail clerks, salespersons, unlicensed assistive personnel, many other positions involving relations with the people. So, if you can see, what are services? Hospitality services, your hairdresser, makeup artist or waiters, clerks, salespersons, all these jobs are called, and when they are recruited into one particular organization and they are asked to perform all these activities, that comes under your pink collar jobs, right? Next, other classifications. Now currently in the article they have mentioned that you have blue collar jobs and grey collar jobs are identified as odd job man jobs, that means odd jobs for man, restricted to man. However, it has seen a spike where women are seeking for blue collar or grey collar jobs, especially in a laundry sector or any other service based sector. So, we will see what are these grey collar also. First, let me go to red collar one. What is this red collar jobs? Government workers of all types derived compensation received by red ink budget. In China also refers Communist Party and private companies. So, government workers who are receiving compensation, they are called red ink holders. So, you also get the red ink holders, they are green ink holders, red ink holders. So, here who get identified through red ink budget, they come under red collar jobs. Okay, fine. Here I wanted to discuss about your grey color. Rest all you can just refer this particular Wikipedia. I am restricting myself to this one. Okay, what is this grey color jobs? Workforce that is not classified under blue color or white color. So, white color is the one who is restricting themselves or who comes under your administrative side. So, administrative or organizing, someone who is under the management, that is your white collar jobs, organized. Your blue collar jobs are of mostly manual labor. So, grey collars are the one who doesn't come under these both and occasionally used to describe elderly individuals working beyond the age of retirement. Some people after getting retired, if they are not getting proper monetary benefits or if they are not yielding much, but still they want money, if their children are not seeing well, then definitely they go for some other jobs, some other less manual jobs, but yeah, those jobs will also be carrying some amount of money. So, the people who are working after the age of retirement, these small works will also be included into your grey collar jobs. Fine, as well as the occupation incorporating elements of both blue collar and white collar. Also, the combination of blue and white collar will also be included into your grey collar jobs, something which is combination of both. So, rest all please refer, important, okay. Even your gold collar, highly skilled, knowledgeable people, so that can be your doctors, lawyers, scientists, technically improved or technically edged people. Who are those? Doctors, lawyers, scientists, all these people are called gold collar jobs. Okay. So, similar way you have different things, just you can go ahead with that. Next. So, you understood, right? Work India was the one which was mentioning that definitely there is a spike in these grey collar or blue collar jobs. Next. So, yeah, this is a local article, but yeah, why I wanted to discuss is that all over India there is an issue of this flu, which is H3N2 flu. Currently our government in Visakhapatnam, they have given one statement on how we have to have our protections. Okay. So, currently experts advise people to take extra care to prevent flu linked to influenza A H3N2. So, that is your influenza, which is a common cold or fever, which will give you dry cough, fever, cold, all those things. So, what they have told? Who is responsible for these announcements? ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research, is the one which is responsible. Coughing and sneezing in public places such as Raitu Bazaars or the social gatherings such as weddings have become common of late. Especially when the season is going to be shifted, definitely there is an issue of cold and cough, common scenario. But now what is the issue is, this cold, cough, fevers would actually be lasting for 3 days generally. But now this particular flu is being sitting up for 2 weeks if it is attacking a particular person. So, it will be lasting for 2 weeks and it is not reducing. So, that is an issue for that. What they have told, it has been linked with persistent cough symptom coupled with fever, to influenza AH3N2 and subtype of the virus which causes this particular flu. So that is a virus which is causing this flu, virus fever. So you need to understand that this influenza is a virus fever. Okay, important for your SN3, SNT. Fine. Symptomatic treatment of what they have given you suggestions. You can either, like if it is still persisting, go advise or go take advice from a doctor than enough to tackle the problem. So it is important that you have to get assistance from a qualified doctor. However, heavy antibiotics like azithromycin or any other antibiotics are strictly avoided. You should not be taking such antibiotics. And next thing, it has also told that it is we are already developing this ABR. What is this? Antibiotic resistant. So antibiotic resistance is already being developed because due to COVID, what we have taken? We have taken huge vaccinations. Whenever we are we got a small fever, we assume that yes, this might be COVID, paracetamol, take azithromycin or take some antibiotic. So body has got, or human body has developed this antibiotic resistance. So in future if there is any attack from any pandemic or any kind of diseases, due to this antibiotic resistance, they will not be able to get out of that particular disease quickly. Okay, so persistent nature will increase. So what they have told, water vapor inhalation is the one which they have given you as a suggestion, which can be done max 5 to 6 times per day, where your nose block can be removed, and strictly they have told not to mix any turmeric into it. So we do know Ayurvedic, we mix turmeric, which should be strictly avoided. Next, fever surveys are being done at the ward level. They have told that nothing to worry until unless if, and also they have mentioned that only 1 to 2% needs hospitalization. It is not something which is mortality, like it's not something which is threatening a human life. Only 1 to 2% people will be requiring hospitalization, rest all not required. Avoid going to crowded places, wear mask, avoid hand shaking and all these are common things which they have mentioned. The virus is causing dry cough, throat irritation, but not spreading to lungs. So that is why it is not that impactful on human body. So that is about this article. Important because you need to take care of yourself too. Okay, fine. Next. India sending 20,000 tons of wheat to Afghan via Chabahar. So via Chabahar port, we are offering Afghanistan 20,000 tons of wheat. So as part of our humanitarian assistance, and of course we need a positive relationship with Afghanistan for two things. First, our border with Pakistan, with China, all these are under stake. So we don't have positive relationship with them. If at all we have to go to somewhere to the Gulf countries, our way from Pakistan is almost blocked. Not almost blocked, it's blocked. We can't go. But Chabahar port, through Chabahar port, it is our way where we can reach to Gulf countries. Easy way to other Asian countries or to European countries. So strategically important place for our country. What we are doing it? So currently we are giving them, our external affairs minister, Mr. Jaishankar has told that we are offering 20,000 tons for them. The ration announced after the first meeting of India Central Asia Joint Working Group. For the first meeting of India Central Asia Joint Working Group on Afghanistan in Delhi came after agreement with Pakistan for sending wheat over the land route experience and talks on extending the time failed to proceed. So initially it was Pakistan which told that it will be giving, and later on because of the roadblocks and all they were unable to send, and it is India which is sending them. Fine. So currently they have showcased the reason that India had sent 40,000 tons or 50,000 tons which has been promised that an agreement with the previous Imran Khan government. So earlier India has provided 40,000 tons against 50,000 was the actual promised one, 40,000 tons sent. Now they are sending 20,000 tons more. So they have showcased that it is because of floods in Pakistan and the time Pakistan has ran out. So to address the current humanitarian situation, India announced this partnership with UNWFP, which is your union, which is United Nations Indian Central Group Working Group, as well as your UN World Food Program. Both combinedly, we are offering this particular delivery of 20,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan, right? Through Chabahar port. That is the only way where we can send to Afghanistan, because we can't go through Pakistan, right? Next, if you have any doubts, online students, Burhan, Jani, good morning. If you have any doubts, you can post it in the chat box, okay? Feel free to chat with me in the chat box. The concerns over linking Aadhaar card with voter IDs. So recently the government has taken steps, not recently, yeah, in the past year, the government has taken steps, especially Election Commission of India has come up with the steps that we will be linking Aadhaar with voter ID. So if at all I have to go for elections, I have to cast my vote. If I am not having my voter ID, I forgot my voter ID, my Aadhaar card authentication will also be sufficing. So I will put my thumb and I will also have Happy Women's Day. Thank you, Burhan. Fine. So yeah, for all the students, Happy Women's Day for all the people, women out there. Fine. So when I am casting my vote, if I am unable to carry my Aadhaar, my voter ID, I can go and give my Aadhaar card as my authentication. So that is a positive end. So what we are doing here, we are linking up a database with everyone, with all the other IDs. So I have my voter ID, I have my passport, I have my Aadhaar, I have different cards. What we are trying to do, we are trying to integrate all this. That is why we are trying to link up. That is why PAN card was linked with Aadhaar card. Now voter ID is being linked with Aadhaar card. But the question here is, if at all it is being linked up like that, what is the question or what is the issue with privacy? So there is a concerns regarding privacy, right? My data is being compromised. For voter ID, I may give only my name, something, but for Aadhaar ID, I should be giving my, of course, for voter ID, what I will be giving, my place of residence, the constituency where I am voting for, and my date of birth, right? Only this mostly will be sent, my gender, etc. Now for Aadhaar card, rest all the other details will also be linked. My PAN card is being linked, so my income can be traced. Are you able to understand? Lot of data has already been integrated. Then what if the data is being breached? So there is a question of privacy. So people have, the activist has mentioned that earlier it was told, the issue with this particular link up is that Election Commission has told that it is completely on a voluntary basis where a particular family should fill form 6B, and then they have to link up their Aadhaar with voter ID, and it is completely optional in nature. So it is, the choice has been given to that family or that particular individual. But what is happening actually, they are going door to door to deliver that particular form 6B, and they are asking them to fill. And they are not mentioning that it is an optional thing. And when someone is asking from Election Commission of India, they are coming to you and they are asking you to fill this form 6B, will you say no? So we think that it is a compulsion, right? And they are also asking it in the way of compulsion. So it is not a process which they are following it as a advisory or as something which is optional, but they are making it as compulsion. So now activists are questioning that how it is optional when there is an issue of, there is an issue of compulsion, and there is a possibility of breach of data which is threatening my privacy. Next, disenfranchisement, which is forcibly converting me. So my franchise is voting and I can do whatever may possible, but you are making me force and coercion. That forcible nature is there from your end, where I am getting my rights. So that is the thing which these people have mentioned. This entire article is about that only. So they are asking that how far you can protect our data when you are already forcing us to implement all these things. And they have also mentioned that this particular amendment was a result of Election Laws Amendment Act passed in 2021 to allow the linking. So it was Amendment Act of Election Laws under Election Commission of India to link up Aadhaar with voter ID. While the Election Commission maintains that the linking is optional, the Form 6B requires voters to declare that they do not have Aadhaar card to avoid doing so. Another issue. Now, Election Commission has told that it's optional, it's on their head. But the Form 6B which you have to fill it, there it has given an option that until unless you don't have an Aadhaar, then don't link it. That means everyone will have Aadhaar. Whoever is having a voter ID, definitely they will be having an Aadhaar. Then it is a compulsion only, no? Are you able to understand? They have mentioned that if you don't have Aadhaar, then no need to fill. That means if you have Aadhaar, what should you do? You have to link. That is what the level of compulsion that they have created through this form, filling form 6B. Okay? No need to go in depth, that is what they have mentioned here. Okay? So here the rights of the rights of the voters are being compromised. What if during the elections, if this database is being leaked? Now, my Aadhaar is linked with my PAN card. Now, my Aadhaar is linked with voter ID. Rest all it can be linked with my some health scheme card, health card. Let's say Arogyasri in Andhra. Let it be linked with that. Now, if my data or a data as a whole is being breached, now that particular person will have my Aadhaar details. He will know where I live, what is my age. Now, based on my PAN card, he will know what he or she, the particular management will know what is my income. So, what are my interests? What are my health burdens? What is my health issues? What is the health burden of that particular constituency? Now, if at all I have to promote something, I can offer only those schemes, no. Are you able to understand? So, it is a question of privacy. That is what mentioned here. Next. Growth slowdown in late 2022 temporary. This quarter, they have projected the growth to be 4.4% officially. For this particular quarter, the GDP has been slowed down because of the global scenario, and whatever the growth was speculated is only due to the domestic growth, right? And the growth was mentioned as 4.4%, right? So, and they have mentioned that it is not because of the global trade, but because of the domestic economy. Fine. Now, what it is being mentioned? It has been slowed down. That's all. Moody Analytics have told that yes, it might be slowed down. Later on, it can recover. So, this is temporary and even salutary. So, Moody is the one analytics which will give you on a quarterly basis what is the level of growth in this particular, in India or different countries. So, currently they have mentioned that this quarter it might be a slowdown, but definitely that is not permanent. It will be temporary in nature. So, they are having a positive speculations on growth in GDP in India. Okay, fine. So, current growth of GDP in this quarter is 4.4%, and yesterday we have seen an article where ex-chief of RBI has mentioned that India has, like, it is almost on the edge of being in a dangerous case of Hindu rate of growth, which would be leveling itself to 4% growth. Okay, fine. But these people have given analytics that no, it is temporary basis. You cannot speculate with that. Okay, anything. It will be recoverable. Next, 25% rise in acute malnutrition among pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers in the past 2 years in 12 countries hard hit by rising prices fueled by Russia-Ukraine conflict, according to UNICEF report. So, according to UNICEF report, they've clearly mentioned that 25% of the women across 12 countries in the past 2 years, the past 2 years across 12 countries, they have seen 25% rise in malnutrition of pregnant women and breastfeeding women. Okay, important report, can be added in your society, can be added in your ethics part, can be added in your, not ethics, essay part. Okay, next. Globally, also in your social justice, globally 51 million children under 2 years old are stunted, and half of them being stunted during pregnancy within 6 months of life. So, because of the mother malnutrition, even the child is being affected. Almost 51 million people are being, million children are being stunted at the age of 2 years only. Okay, so that is about this article. Next, is Heat India set to get worse? I already told you that before, like in this cold phase, we've got La Nina, and now we are 50%, we have 50% chances where we will be affecting with El Nino. However, even if there is no El Nino, temperatures will be very drastic. Heat temperatures will be very drastic, and overall annual growth of temperature is very huge. Okay, we will see that. See ya. Lancet report has told that with 2 decades of data, more than 5 million people died on an average each year worldwide because of extreme temperatures. So, with the data from 2000 to 2019, 2-decade data of Lancet survey says that almost more than 5 million people died on an average every year. Every year 5 million people died only because of adverse extreme temperatures. Next, summer temperature have been increased. So, this time summer temperature has been increased with a minimum of 0.5 degrees to 0.9 degrees across many states in the country like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Bihar, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Northeast. Almost in the northern countries, northern states of India have seen rise in temperatures from 0.5 to 0.9 degrees Celsius. Next, it is imperative that the state steps up and share responsibility with other stakeholders, implement SAI framework for disaster risk management through improved early warning systems, creation of public awareness and formulation of heat action plans. So, this SAI framework speaks about the disaster management activities. So, whenever there is a disaster, it can be prevention, mitigation or anything, like it is during pre-pandemic or pre-disaster or post-disaster or during disaster. Whatever the steps that needs to be taken will be mentioned through this particular SAI framework of disaster risk reduction, and it has speculated that we should be giving early warning systems, and we should be having creation of, we should create public awareness and formulation of heat action plans. So, what should be the prevention things, or what should be the care that we need to take? All these things they have mentioned, and that needs to be released. Next, so this year has seen hike. So, as per the 6th assessment report of, very important for your environment, IPCC 6th report, Intergovernmental Panel for Climatic Change, panel on climatic change, 6th report has been released already. This report just is very important for your environment part. So, important, fine. So, currently what they have mentioned here, this year through the Lancet report July 2021, the 2 decades of data 2000 to 2019, more than 5 million people died, which I have already told, and this 6th report says that extreme heat events will grow, increasing global warming, and that every increment on warming matters. So, IPCC report has stated that the heat temperatures or extreme heat events are directly proportional to global warming. As long as the global warming is not controlled, this heat events will never be controlled. It will be increased in the same rate. And another thing, main cause of this extreme heat events is not natural phenomena but anthropogenic features, which is human interference into climatic change. Okay. So, they have also mentioned what are the issues. Here, this C-STEP or CSTEP, which is Center for Study of Science and Technology Policy, has speculated that, has understood that, or it is expecting that through a study of a 30-year period from 2021 to 2050, from the period, this is important again report, from 2021 to 2050 period, the maximum temperature during summer will increase even under a moderate emissions scenario. This increase is higher under higher emission scenario, likely to be greater than 2 degrees to 3.5 degrees. Within the span of 30 years, the level of increase in the temperature would be minimum at least 3.5 degrees to, 2 degrees to 3.5 degrees Celsius. Within the span of 30 years, this is the level of temperature growth which is being observed. Okay, that under moderate emission scenario. But now because of the growth of these development events, infrastructure events, definitely these emissions will not be moderate, right? Next, so over 100 districts and 1.5 to 2 degrees above 455 districts. So they have mentioned as part of districts, but on an average there will be growth at least 2 degrees Celsius. Next, so yeah, even winter temperature too are projected to increase by 0.5 degrees to 3.5 degrees in future. So all these are expectations or the speculations for future, what can be the scenario, adverse climate conditions, all they have mentioned. So just go through this, you can add it in your answers as part of your geography. Okay, fine. So action plans should be there. Definitely we need to work globally. That is why even now we are working on climatic change is also one of the considerations of G20. So definitely we need a global platform, global planning for reducing this climate change. Okay, reducing this global warming. Fine. Next. This is another one report which has been mentioned by International Labour Organization, which is your ILO. in 2019 it has mentioned that India is expected to lose 5.8% of working hours in 2030 due to heat stress. Because of heat stress, the efficiency of working hours would be reduced to 5.8%. So people who are in the labor force, their efficiency would fall on an average overall 5.8% would be losing working hours because of heat stress. And the loss in agriculture and construction fields, because India is dependent on rainfed, so it is a monsoon based agriculture, right? So we usually depend on rain for water facilities for all the agriculture part, or irrigation, everything. We are rain fed country. So because of this adverse natures of climatic change, currently the impact on agriculture and infrastructure or construction sectors remain 9.04%, which translates to 34 million full-time jobs. That will be the loss. 34 full-time jobs, that 4 million full-time jobs will be at loss because of growing in adverse conditions in climatic change. So because of the growth in global warming, it is affecting your climatic change, which is impacting this much loss. Okay, who has given this report? ILO. Okay, International Labour Organization. Fine. Next, last article. How did the treaty on high seas come through? So yesterday itself I told, for the first time, global countries, all the international countries, UN countries, they have come up with a plan where they are focusing on high seas biodiversity conservation. What is high seas? Online, offline students, if you have followed, what is high seas? So it is like a global waters, international waters, which doesn't belong to any country territory, right? So it is above, after 200 nautical miles, whatever the waters that is present in the ocean is international waters, which is called your high seas. Currently, a particular plan is being framed by UN member states, a treaty. Basically, they will have a group which is addressing this climatic change or biodiversity conservation in high seas. So we need to see what is actually happening there. Yeah. So last week, UN members states agreed to have a historic treaty. So it's been pending since decades, starting from 1982. From 1982, how many decades? 82, 92, 2000, then you have 2012 and 22. So almost 4 decades. After 4 decades, now they have come up with one particular treaty on biodiversity, so which is protecting marine life in the international waters that lie outside the jurisdiction of any country. So high seas is something which is lying outside the jurisdiction of any other country. So approximately after 200 nautical miles of the particular territory of a country. So the breakthrough followed talks led by UN during the IGC, which is Intergovernmental Conference on Marine Diversity of Areas Beyond National Jurisdiction, where negotiations were underway for the past 2 weeks. Fine. So currently all members are yet to ratify it, and one of the a positive end of this particular treaty is whoever signs this treaty, they are binding to it. So they have to follow all the regulations. So whatever the contributions they need to do as a country, definitely they are binding towards it. Else they will be given certain kinds of like fines or something like that. Fine. How important are these high seas? Why should we focus on high seas when it is not our country border? When it is not under my country jurisdiction, why should I focus on this? Yes. High seas accounts for more than 60% of the world ocean area, cover about half of the earth, which makes hub of marine life, and protection of marine life is also one of our SDG, right? Next, so they are home for 2.7 lakh known species and many yet to be discovered. So what we know is 2.7 lakh species, but yet to be known so many. Next, so the high seas are fundamental to human survival and well-being. Okay, however, the oceans absorb heat from the atmosphere and are affected by scenarios like El Nino, which I have already told. So it is heating up the surface. So that is why your circulation pattern has changed, where it will bring very heat temperatures to India, the countries India and Australia, whereas Peruvian coast will receive excess amount of rainfall. We have already seen that. Adverse conditions in winter, they will have extreme cold weather, we will have extreme hot weathers, because monsoon will be completely shifted towards Peruvian coast. Okay, so of which endanger marine flora and fauna. Of course, because of this changed pattern, because of the changed surface temperature, also the undersea temperature, the marine life is under threat, and again posing threat to all marine flora and fauna. So several thousand marine species are at a risk of extinction by 2100 if current global warming is not being addressed properly. So anthropogenic pressures. One thing you need to understand. What happened? So one thing you need to understand, it is not under our borders, of course. So what is the anthropogenic activities that is causing this phenomena? Why it is threatening the biodiversity species? What are these anthropogenic activities that are happening in high seas? We need to know. First thing, seabed mining. So we are mining on seabed. First thing, which is again causing anthropogenic changes which is affecting the marine life of high seas. First cause, seabed mining, noise pollution, chemical spills and fires, disposal of untreated waste, especially antibiotics, nuclear waste, they are disposing into the water. So that was again the great issue. Recently there was one current affair too, where one nuclear one is also dumping its own nuclear waste into the ocean. How come it is acceptable when it is affecting some lakhs of or millions of marine life there, flora and fauna, right? So overfishing, introduction of invasive species, because of this flowing, because of steamers and all, whenever they are trying to carry some water or however the case, invasive species are entering into that biodiversity to that particular ecosystem. It is threatening the lives of the existing marine creatures, right? Coastal pollution, all these are the anthropogenic features which is causing marine life issues. So that is because of marine life, what we can say, depletion you can say, yes. They are making this organization become extinct, right? Next. So despite the alarming situation, ICS remains one of the least protected areas with only about 1% of under protection, because it is not under the jurisdiction of anybody. That is why it is one of the least protected areas, right? So now they have come up with a proper solution where they will be having a treaty which is binding on the countries, all the UN countries, they are under talks, and they will come up with a proper plan, right? So that is about this article. They have come up with a draft treaty which places 30% of the world's old oceans to be protected areas, puts more money into marine conservation, and covers to use genetical resources. So it covers to understand these marine genetical resources to protect them, and almost 30% of the existing international waters will be protected as a first course, right? So that is about this article. So if you want, you can just go through this, nothing more than that is mentioned. So the treaty is called High Seas Treaty, okay? Draft was being framed. Once the entire thing is, entire treaty is done, then we will see more details about it, okay? Fine, that's it for today. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for the session. Good day, we'll meet in tomorrow's session, okay? Thank you.